Good day, grade 10s. My name is Carl Ursen, and today I'm going to introduce to you an important study skill that can make your reading, comprehension, and memory much stronger. This method is called the SQ3R method. The acronym stands for Survey, Question, Read, Recite, and Review, and you will follow this method in this order. By the end of the short lesson, you will understand how to use SQ3R in your studies and why it can make a big difference in how you learn. Let's begin with the first step, survey. When you pick up a textbook or study notes, you don't just start reading from the very first word. First, you'll take a minute to look over the main features of the text. This is like taking a quick bird's eye view. Take a glance at any headings, subheadings, diagrams, and summary boxes. Notice any bold words or important terms like definitions, and look at any graphs, tables, or illustrations. Why would we do this? We'll do this because this will help your brain to start forming a mental map of the chapter before you even begin. You begin to see the structure of the content and what is important. This makes the reading that we're going to do that follows much more meaningful. And then you move on to the second step, the questions. Before you start reading, turn the headings and subheadings into questions. For example, if the heading is the process of photosynthesis, you could ask, what is photosynthesis and how does it work? Why do we need to do this? Because this creates questions and our brains become active. We are no longer reading words on a page, but we begin actively searching for answers. And this curiosity keeps us focused and improves our understanding. The third step is to read. Now you read the section carefully, but purposefully to answer the questions you have just asked yourself. If your question was, how does photosynthesis work? Then as you read, you are looking for that answer. Highlight any key points and underline definitions that make short notes in your notebook. Remember, reading with a goal is very different to passively reading, because you are training your brain to connect new knowledge to what you already know. A key tip is to highlight or underline any key words and jot down short notes in a textbook. Next, move on to recite. After you've finished reading a section, pause and try to recall what you have just learned without looking at your textbook. You can either say the answer to your question out loud or in your own words, or write a brief summary in your notebook. Whatever works best for you. This might feel strange at first, but this is the most powerful step, because when you explain something in your own words, you're checking your understanding and strengthening your memory at the same time. The goal is to check if you truly understand and remember what you've just learned. If you cannot recall, go back and reread that section and try again. The final step is review. Once you have finished a chapter, go back to your question and summarize. Go over your notes and see if you can still answer the main questions without your textbook. Reviewing should not only be left until the night before the exam. Instead, do smaller, regular reviews after each lesson or each chapter. This repetition helps improve the information to move from your short-term memory into your long-term memory, which is exactly what you need when writing tests and exams. So, learners, in summary, the SQ3R method gives you a structured way to approach your reading. Survey, scan for big pictures. Question, turn headings into questions. Read, search for answers actively. Recite, explain in your own words. And review, repeat and strengthen your memory. If you practice this method regularly, you will understand your work better and also remember it for much longer. Thank you for your attention, grade 10s. I encourage you to try use the SQ3R method in your next reading assignment for history, for instance, and you will see a difference for yourself. Thank you.